Good morning and a very warm welcome to the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church. We're very pleased to have a friend of this church working with us today as our guest medium, Iain Mason. So no stranger to all the people here in the congregation, and to all of those globally all around the world, then it is wonderful that you're linking with us and that we can spread the message of spiritualism out to the four corners of this world, and that those that are in places of isolation can join part of the family of being at Wimbledon Spiritualist Church. So we're very pleased that we have everyone live on Facebook and YouTube. And just be aware that sometimes there's a few second delay with going on to YouTube, but don't worry, that's just how it all seems to work. And, I'm going to start the service by asking our friend Iain to give us the prayer and the invocation. Okay.
Thank you, Jackie. Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Are you all well? You all right there in virtual land? Good. So what I'm going to do is something just a touch different this morning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you all, if you'd like to join together and just allow your eyes to close. And just take a couple of deep breaths in and out for me, if you're able, in through your nose and out through your mouths. And you'll become aware of your energy changing. You'll feel a little more settled. And as you lean in to that wonderful, peaceful feeling that gives you that serenity, that brings that inner peace, just feel yourselves reaching out, wanting more, joining together with each other and your loved ones and friends and families. As we say, it is with deep appreciation, love, joy and happiness that we say thank you to you, my divine source, my infinite creator. As we extend that to everybody seen and unseen, known and unknown, to the circumstances and whatever else made it possible to create the moment for us to be here now, fully present, joined and unified together. As we expand our senses and make ourselves available to receive the people, places, situations and things that you bring us in each moment, that show us the options and the open doors before us, that will allow us to feel in our hearts a sense of knowing what our next step is for us to take on the road that lies ahead of us, and the answers and askings and anguish that we've had previously seems to dissolve. As we somehow know what new choices we need to make, what new behaviours we need to create, and what new actions we need to create to turn this into a reality and manifest that for our living experience right now. To enable us to shine brightly, lighting up the universe, radiating our love and healing to all those with need or that might be suffering. And for us to be the biggest and best versions of ourselves, to allow us to send the love to our physical and non-physical being, and to those we know we're going to meet today, to those we're not going to meet today, to every single soul, person, place, situation, thing that may be with need and that might be suffering, to all the planets and kingdoms in the universe, to all those near and dear to us that are around us and surround us, as we allow it to flow for us, to us and through us. And in this space together, we remain in your tender love and care and keeping for this service, fully aligned and in touch and in sync with the whole of who we are. For we are what you are. We are that indeed. As we leave ourselves there with you together, so it be and so it is, as we say thank you. Amen. Thank you.
We won't want to come back to reality. I know I could have stayed in that for a few minutes longer. Now I'm going to read you from our list, our healing list, because I know that there are people online that are healers that take those lists and, send out all the distant healing, as well as healers that are within the church. And I wanted to ask for the Ward family, and as Mary has just passed the spirit this last 24 hours, and there's a big family that are obviously devastated by their loss, and it's always very difficult those first few hours after a passing. Now we have Peter Punan Knowles, Matthew David Harris, Aaron Keith Kidd, Stacey Asher Void, the people of Baghdad, Kelly and Stephen, Sheridan Jurgen, the passing of their dog. Alison, who's still in hospital. She's beginning to improve, but still needs a lot of thoughts. For myself and for Ray and for Claire, for Reese, Tom, Chicks, Sharon, Barry, Holly, Hannah, Dan's, Dawn, Tom's mum, Leslie, Kieran's family, Pollyanna, and Josh, who's the son of Bill Hughes, has been poorly. And if you can take those names, and also online, Tony Wright is asking if we can send healing for Catherine, for family and friends. So as we see any other requests for healing that may pop up from time to time on the screen, then please also think of those individuals. And then what we started last year, even the year before now, we changed our healing prayer to the Serenity Prayer, because we felt that it was a prayer that was very positive in helping us with our own attitudes and about looking at life in the way of the Serenity Prayer. So if you'd like to join me in saying the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Because that says it all really, and is very much in the healing vein. Now this is the time where physically we go round with our collection plate. So I'm going to ask George if he will go round. And it's also a time then for those that are watching online. You can also donate online, and we do say that if you can put any donation with our PayPal, and that normally comes on the screen, the https www.paypal.com, PayPal me, LAD proms, because expenses carry on mounting when you're trying to run a physical place. But we are grateful that you are part of our family. So those of you who can donate, and those of you that can't, don't worry, because you're donating your time in making this part of your daily ritual of the service. And now for the next couple of minutes, I'd like you to look on screen at the adverts for the Spiritual Psychics TV, who we're very grateful because they produce this, allow us to be part of their family, the bigger family, and all the wonderful things that they have been doing this last 2 to 3 years that we've been part of them. And they've got some fantastic new events coming up. So please have a look, and the adverts will speak for themselves in what's available on SPTV.
My Spirit Life is a free online interactive magazine for those who have an interest in improving their spiritual lives. Authors can upload images, videos, and audio clips to their own articles. The public can place comments, rate the article, and follow the author. All articles are vetted before being published. For more information and to place your own article, please visit myspiritlife.co.uk.
MySpiritualDirectory.com is one of the fastest growing online free listing service. Our search directory offers geolocation feature, rating ability, review system, map location, customer comment, YouTube video, gallery, social media sharing, direct contact with the lister, simple online booking and payment system. It's free to register and use. It even creates your own mini web page, which you can update at any time, and yes, it's still free, no monthly or yearly fees. 100% free. Creates your own profile page. Add social media and other links. Add a mini gallery and a YouTube video. Rating, reviews and comments. Includes online booking and payments. So, if you're looking for a medium or a reader, even a church, maybe a healer, or any other spiritual service, then visit myspiritualdirectory.com.
Are you planning a paid spiritual event, or looking for something to do this weekend? Then visit myspiritualevents.com. You can browse the listing, view the event details, watch a YouTube clip, look at a mini gallery, select dates and times, pay for tickets using PayPal or your debit card. Organizers can register for free and start selling tickets within minutes, be it for their online or in-person spiritual event. As an organizer, you will have access to your own admin dashboard, which will display information such as your income and your bookings, all in a simple and user-friendly display. It's free to use. Join and upgrade to an organizer. Come and visit us at myspiritualevents.com.
Join Polly, Jane, and Sarah for the Sunday Sofa from 4 p.m. today. The show consists of advice, gossip, and free readings, be it oracle card or mediumship. Tomorrow from 11 a.m., Alison and Dawn hosts their morning show with live readings, chat, special guests, and the latest news from SPTV. Matt and Kirsty host their show tomorrow from 8 p.m. The show consists of answering your spiritual questions and offering free mediumship and oracle card readings.
Okay, and you're back with us, seeing all those wonderful adverts and seeing a picture there of Alison. So for those that are going to link with healing, then that last picture with the two ladies, as they say, that the shorter of the two is Alison and is in need of healing at this time. And to say, if you only need to know one directory, then that's the directory you can find the events on. So do have a look. Now, we saw that Tony Wright was asking for healing for Catherine, family and friends. And Kelly was saying she was looking forward to this service, that she had no idea that services were broadcast. I don't know if you're local, if you're in the UK, Kelly, or where you are globally, but welcome to our church service. Terry Louise is saying good morning to all at Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, to Ian and to Richard. So thank you for being part of our service. And Richie is saying greetings and blessings all. Perhaps if you are, communicating from abroad, like Christine Woodham is actually speaking from Spain. I was texting from Spain. She's saying good morning, Ray, Jackie, Richard, and Terry. So if anywhere else in the world, then let us know. Or if you're up in Scotland or anywhere. Kelly Roquette is saying good morning and good evening from Australia. So very pleased that you're able to link with us from Australia. And Sarah is saying good day from South Africa. So very good day to you, Sarah, and thanks for choosing our service to be part of. That's when you know the power of technology. And Anik Das is saying hi. Apologies if I pronounce anyone's name incorrectly. And Ivy May, lovely to hear from you, Ivy May. And she's saying good morning to everyone. And I like the llama picture that you've got there. I don't know if it's a pet you've now got. And Shawana Skinner is saying love and blessings. So welcome. Kay Cook from Iceland at the moment. So lovely that the communication network around the world is, bringing you all to us. James is saying good morning from Texas. Here it's only just gone 5:15. Lisa is saying good morning from Portsmouth. And Paula is saying, hi, anything for me, please, from Staffordshire in the UK. Well, we never know whose spirit is going to go to, Paula, but I'm sure you'll get things from just being in the service. And Rose Dennis is saying that she's in Glasgow, so welcome. Angela Clayton is saying good morning from Northern Ireland. And Tina Lacey saying good morning to myself, to Ian and to everyone. Good morning to you, Tina. It's nice that you're part of our service this morning. And we all get something, even if we don't get a personal message, we always can get something out of a message for someone else, just to know, that we get that wonderful link with our family and friends, and that, spirit is everywhere. Gloria Douglas is saying good morning from Ohio. So a lovely good morning to you. And once again, that's probably at least 5 hours, 6 hours, possibly even 7 for the difference in time. For later, okay. Never been as far as Ohio. Susan Ellis is saying good morning from around the world. Lovely to be with you all from Bedfordshire. And for those that have found us for the very first time, and Dawn, wonderful to see you, Dawn, and hope that you're well. Good morning and love to all. Is that what she's saying? And she's sharing that. And Helen, and we're saying good morning from Swindon in Wiltshire. Okay, thank you. And we're carrying on the next part of our service. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a reading. I know that I've probably done the first part of this reading before because it's from the Silver Birch anthology, from teachings from Silver Birch series, and Silver Birch was the very special guide of Maurice Barbanel, who was the editor of the Psychic News for many years and an author of many, many books. And, you know, in the chapter 9, Death Cannot Serve Her, then I've never read it all through to the end, and I'm not going to suddenly give you a very long address, but when I was reading it recently and going on to a part which I hadn't read before or for a long time, then it was about seasons. And as we're about to change into a season, it's now, you know, we're in the autumn, it's saying with the earth, you know, may not officially be autumn until October, but we know that the seasons are changing, that because we've had such drought, you know, the leaves are turning brown already. And I always say that we're in seasons of our life. And I feel I'm leaving the autumn of my life and beginning that winter season. If each season is like 25 years, then, you know, I start in the spring to the summer when you're in middle age, and then, you know, that I know some people have a longer autumn, some people have a long winter or a short winter. You never know, but there is a season for everything. And I do believe that. And I wanted to add this part, the second part of that with a, you know, so if you wanted to find it in the book, then it is under Death Cannot Serve Her, but it is about cycles. It says, a vivid description of death as part of the cycle of life was given by Silver Birch one Easter time. He drew a comparison of the seasons of the year. Think of the miracle of the seasons, he said, the eternal cycle forever revolving, an unbroken consistency, the snows of winter when all life sleeps, the herald of spring when life awakens, the fullness of summer when life is revealed in all its beauty, autumn when the voice of nature is hushed and preparation is made for the sleep year, the period of refreshment comes upon it. You're about to witness nature's great revelation, spring, Easter, resurrection, new life makes itself visible all over your world, the life that has been sleeping, the life that has retreated into the darkness of Mother Earth, there to find peace and quietness in the darkness. Soon you will see the rising sap, the bud, the foliage, the leaf, and then the flower, the tiny beds raising their heads, and 1,000 voices announce the birth of new life. You'll be reminded of the old pagans, the uncivilized savages, whose religion was founded on the rituals of nature, who saw in the seasons the divine drama, who constructed from the movement of the stars and the planets the lives of the gods, the powers that watched over them, who paid tribute to the laws which controlled their life, who recognized that the greatest season of all was spring, when birth came upon the world. The cycle is repeated in every human life. The pageant of nature is duplicated in every human soul. First there is the spring with the awakening consciousness, the summer when man's powers rise to their highest, autumn when life begins to wane, and winter when sleep comes to the weary, tired soul. But even after the winter, the physical life, spring comes to the spirit as it awakens in another world to continue that eternal cycle. Take from nature this message and be assured that the laws which have never failed will continue to operate in your case and in the case of every human life. So we know that even if we consider that at the end of our winter, we have that passing back home to spirit world, that becomes our spring, and we're fully renewed with a new body and a new wonderful experience to carry on that cycle of the seasons. So thank you for listening to me. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is ask Iain to give us his address for the morning. Over to you.
Thank you, Jackie. Hey everyone, I'm back again. They paid the ransom, I'm free, I'm out. How about that? The question is can I survive, right? So good morning and happy Sunday once again. Love that, Jackie, thank you, great reading. And in the same way, I'd like to continue in a very similar vein. But as some of you know me by now, each address is bespoke, I write them, and this one is called It's Time to Let Go. And it's very true, in fact, that from the seasons that Jackie was sharing with us there, that we actually need to release the season that's gone before, the events and everything that's happened for us, with us, and around us, about us in that time, so we can fully embrace and enjoy the experience of what's to come. Otherwise, we get stuck. And it is an interesting thing. You know, sometimes when people say things to us and they strike a chord within us, they hurt us or they jangle us in some way, we're still holding on. They're your ghosts rattling your doors, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they're doing. They're holding on to you, but actually showing you with the emotions your body feeds back to you that you've still got some stuff to work on. Oh, yes, you're all broken. I hate to break it to you, but you're all broken. You've got little bits that you need to work on, some more, some less. That's the way that it goes. But isn't it great that we understand that when we have these points of people pushing our buttons, we get these symbols and the awareness that we can actually go, okay, I need to work on that so that I can let go and be free and not get stuck and distracted by something that probably has happened many years ago. It's just a repeating pattern. That's why it's still coming up for us to deal with, so that we can allow that to dissolve within us. We can't try to get rid of it. That won't work. We need to allow it to dissolve. We need to let go. So let me put that in a bit more context for you and share a story. I've got two stories for you this morning. You'll like this one. It's a little close to the edge, so I have to watch my vocab, but I'm sure your adult minds out there in virtual world and here in the church will allow you to put this together. I'm very blessed recently to have found myself with a convertible car. Now, I'm going to say I'm a man of a certain age. It is not the male menopause. That's my defense, and I'm sticking to it. But I did a demonstration last night to help a friend out. I'm driving back. It's 11 o'clock at night. It's dark now, but it's still warm, right? So I figure, well, my hair's not going to go out of place. I'll pop the roof down. Now, just as I get back to home, I've got a Legion at the top of my road, right? And as I drive past, there's two guys outside, clearly a little worse for wear. We know what that means, right? And there they are, and they shout something that's not very nice as I go past, referring to a certain part of the male anatomy. And just in case you're wondering which part, it's the bit in the middle. We don't need to say any more than that. You all got that, right? Good. And I did sort of feel a little bit jangle inside me because, you know, there was a time when I had a little more youthful exuberance within me, perhaps where I had lesser spiritual thoughts flowing through my mind, where I could have had the idea that maybe I can educate this guy and pull my car over and get out and have a chat to him. Now, we all know where that goes, right? So, you know, that's not the thing. But it did occur to me this morning that when I woke up, the funny side of this story was, if I was that part that he indeed referred to me as, and I went and stood between him and his mate, what would that make them? You'll get that. Those of you that are not laughing will laugh later. But it did make me laugh, but you have to let it go. But there's things there that still triggered me. I still realised that, as Gary Zukav says, there's painful parts of my personality and stuff that I still have to deal with. Just think of yourselves like Humpty Dumpty, 3/4 restored. You'll kind of get it. And it's just so we can work on those extra little pieces and help ourselves get better. Why? Well, we'll come to that in a moment. But not before the second story, which is really, really good. There's a lady called Iain Mason. She's a former lawyer and she's a life coach, friend of Oprah's. Big news, lovely lady. Been through her own troubles in her time. She's lost a daughter and had her own things to bear. But she had this lovely story that I recount from something that I watched with her, where she says, this is an interesting lesson in life. And she uses the analogy of eyesight. There was a lady that she knew that was suffering with her eyesight. Now, I don't know if any of you know this. You know, I am past 40 a long time ago, right? So I get up in the morning and I do all of this. You know, I can't read the phone. It looks like somebody's just smudged it, you know, like a young child painting. I can't read it for anything. And she's struggling all the way through. And everyone's nagging her to say, go and get your eyes tested. You need glasses. Get them on, get them on. No, I'm fine. And then one day she said, I just can't see anything. I'm going to have to go and get it done. And so she got these glasses, she got the right prescription. All of a sudden, eureka, nobody moans at her. She's very, very happy. But the lesson was that Iain brought us through this is your eyes adjust to the level of deficiency present. In other words, all you allow yourself to be able to see is all you can experience, to the point that's all you see when you look out through your eyes into the world. And so you find that when your life isn't working out and you get all these sort of frustrations and problems, that why can't I make that happen? And why isn't that happening? Because that's still some of the stuff that you need to let go of and work on for yourselves. So if you don't allow yourselves to let go, to release these things and be free of them entirely or as best you can, it's difficult to embrace everything that's waiting for you, and it is waiting for you, because we've all been through experiences, haven't we? When we were like children, we wanted to learn to drive. Those of us that have then passed our tests, you know, when you get in that car for the first time, mum and dad aren't looking, and you race off down the road, you just feel like you're on fire, don't you? But it's important to have that energy to be able to walk into the future. Why? Let me bring this back to how that's going to help you. With your bodies, there's a little thing called metacognition. Now, this is a Sunday, right? So I'm not going to twist your brains up like a pretzel talking about these hard scientific things. But understand these experiences that you have, these things that jangle you, that upset you, that cause these ripples within you, and you go, oh, I don't like that, and you back down, or you go, oh, I won't be doing that again. No, no, no. Live with the experience. Allow it to pass through you. If you don't hold on to it, it won't hold on to you. You can only buy the experience. Think of it this way, it's like a gift somebody's bringing you, but if you don't take it, you don't accept it. So you can just notice it. And so when somebody says something that pushes your buttons, be more concerned about what it brings within you than what actually they're trying to achieve by poking you, by disrupting you, by disturbing you. That's exactly what that word does. It's very powerful and it's very important. Why? Well, because sooner or later, if you don't deal with your stuff, and you do have to deal with your stuff, what will happen is that your body can overtake your mind and will assume those reactions that bring the responses that you've been doing for years. So if somebody called me a bald, fat, four-eyed git, well, opinions vary, right? Now, you'd be nice with your laughter, right? Okay, but, you know, it's, hey, they are just opinions and they vary. But if I allow myself to be wobbled by that, well, then I'm going to carry that for a little bit, maybe days, maybe weeks. I might go and put a post on Facebook or something and then just go and infect everybody else that I can reach, because that doesn't help either. I've got a little saying, what affects you infects everybody else. So just be aware of that. If your body goes into that auto fight, flight or freeze mode, you will always be stuck there. It will not serve you. You need to allow that to dissolve. So just be an observer. When things come, see what happens with you. Go and take that action so that your body will not react into that panic mode, if we call it that, when these things happen again. And slowly and surely you start to make progress where less and less bothers you, and your life becomes better and better. You can shine your light brightly and help everybody else. I hope that's touched you all. I hope you enjoyed the stories. Thank you very much for your time, love and attention. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We've got a message from Jude Malkin saying, "Yay, lovely to see you, Iain." So I'm sure you're, you know, and Richie as well saying, "Thank you, Iain." So we've got a couple of thank yous. It's always nice to get feedback with addresses, and that's when it's lovely. And Christine Murray, lovely to know you're with us, Christine. Haven't spoken to you for a long time, and got it, Iain, is what she's saying on that one.
Good.
And you know, hope to see you soon. And Julie said, lovely address as well. So thank you for these comments. And Christine from Spain, who's one of our ministers. Iain, a great address. I'm sure we've all learned a lesson this morning with your words. So, and that's important, you know, mediumship is incredibly important, especially for those that are suffering bereavement and loss. But our addresses are our way forward for our purpose of why we're here on earth, and, you know, the wonderful teachings that we have and continue to have help us, you know, as a guide in life. So therefore it's important to use the knowledge that we have and the wonderful words of wisdom that we have. And that's a good time for saying we now go on to that part of the service, which is our mediumship. Well, Kerry is saying, yes, very true. It's very hard to let things pass when you don't know what it is, which is causing the imbalance. Things always go. A lot of our illnesses are dis-ease, aren't they, with ourselves, and that's where the name comes from. And it's that balance on it of it and understanding that if we hold on to negativity, then we're poisoning ourselves. And Julie Erickson is a lovely address. Your words are so true. And say so. So that other part of our service, which is the evidence of survival. It's not fortune telling, so remind people, if your mum is in spirit, and you're after financial advice, then unless your mum was a financial advisor, she's not going to suddenly have been on a course since she's been, in heaven. So, you don't expect your loved ones to come and tell you what you should be doing in life. In fact, it's important that we make those decisions ourselves. But they will come and let you know that they're standing behind you and that they're giving you that love. But also think out of the box. Think, of friendships. Think of, in-laws and outlaws, if you want to call them outlaws. But the fact is, it's all the people that have been, sometimes a big part of your life, but sometimes just, somebody you knew for a very short time. And if they come to your door, then please greet them with that love and affection in your voice, because that's important. And for those that are communicating via the texting, then show your love, with the texting. You can always put a little heart on and, just have positive energy and don't dismiss things too quickly without thinking, oh yes, I could take that in that certain way. And love, that power of love and energy that comes here to the church from everyone in the congregation, everyone globally, is incredibly important. It's like a battery. So make sure that there's no, give that love when you answer up in church. And that love when you answer up in the text. If you put love into your text, then that love will come this way and we'll find Iain and will just make a wonderful amount of energy surrounding us all and going out as far as those four corners of the world. So I'm going to hand over to you now, Iain. So please give your love and attention.
Thank you very much. Hey everyone, I'm back again. I'm actually just going to grab my water so I don't have to do that when I'm working. And try not to spill it all over the electricals. If we go off there, it's probably me knocking the water everywhere. Don't worry. You love it when people do that. They just add those words at the end after they've just sort of preempted a catastrophe, haven't they? Yeah, but don't worry about that. So it's lovely to be with you all, both here physically and, well, I would also say non-physically, but it could be a bit rude, right? Because it infers to our friends that have passed on, but to all those that are out there in virtual land. So, hey. Now, the way that I work is in love. It's as simple as that. I just allow everything to flow for me so that it can find its way through me to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Excellent stuff. Now, it may be that, we have to manage a couple of things here. As Jackie said at the start, we do have, for our friends that are in virtual land, a little bit of a lag. So, I might need to do a little bit of catching up in places. Rich is excellent on the comments, but we do need to make allowance for that. It's also possible that more than one of you can take a link, but we will figure that out as and when the communicator comes through. For those that are here physically, please put your hands up, even if I'm with somebody, but it resonates with you. I'll figure out what we need to do with that. That's my job. And equally, those of you that are out there watching the show today, please just make yourselves very visible on there. And if you're really, really screaming, I'm sure Richard will pick up and come in as the voice from above. He's a bit like the Gov from above, Richard. That's his new nickname from me, the Gov from above. So we'll see where we're going here. So just bear with me 1 second. Okay. I've got this lovely gentleman that joins with me here, and he's quite a nice fellow. And when I say that, I don't mean any disrespect with that, but he's sort of here and he's not quite sure about all of this. He comes in, he's dad. And as he comes in, he's not quite sure that he thinks that he can do this, but he's just realised and just said to me, but I'm actually doing it, right? So he's finding it sort of quite funny, but it's a bit like, when you see a farmer sitting on the tractor chewing the cud there, and he's just sort of watching you like that, a bit sort of, suspect. He's just a little bit like that. I know that as he comes through, he talks about the love of the outdoors. He loves the garden. He loves cultivating things. He talks about loving and raising his family. He also talks about a child that was lost that links with him. And he also acknowledges that this child that passes was somebody that was very close to him in the family that he felt very connected with as well, and that this is somebody, this little boy is what I'm getting, has always been with him. Now, I know as he comes forward here for me, he's acknowledging that March is important, and he shows that as an anniversary. I know November would be relevant to here as well, and I also know that he talks about great illnesses and passings around Christmas. So does anybody please, either in the church or out in our virtual world, understand this? Okay. We'll see what happens here. Okay, we'll just give that a few seconds to catch up on the virtual world there. Okay, so where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Okay. All right. Welcome to my lovely lady at the right in the back corner over there. You've got like a checky shirt on, and hello, my darling. How are you? You're right. Would you mind if I work with you for a moment? Because I just asked him where he wanted to go, and he's taken me straight over to you. I had a little look around on screen, and I had a little look around the church, but my head was kind of being twisted over to you. Do you understand any of the evidence that I've given there? Do you understand the father connection and the love of the garden? Okay, I love a garden. I just don't want to do any of the work. It kills my back. Okay. But you understand, because he wants to come over to you, but he's talking about the children and that connect and being very, what I want to say is a very, very, true, like a real daddy dad. He really loves the family is what he's talking about. And would you also understand with him about this connection with the child that passes? Okay, because I got a little boy that came through, which is the evidence that I gave, but that was my seeing. Now, I don't want to twist things around too much, so I'm just going to allow this to see where we go, if you don't mind. And if I have indeed made a girl a boy, then I apologise deeply for that. Okay.
And there's also someone that's saying they can accept it all that's come onto the screen now.
Oh, okay. Can I just ask you to bear with me, because juggling the screen and everything else. Thank you so much, Jackie. Carol, so you understand all of that? Okay, that's fine. Would you understand that the little boy would link to Dad, please, as well? If you can just let me know that and type as quickly as you can, we'd appreciate that. But I do also feel that I'm with my lovely lady in the church as well. So we have what we do, starting with a double link, just to make things interesting for us all. Well, you won't fall asleep, will you? That's for sure. Me neither. Okay, so Carol, we'll just give you some time to catch up with that and come back to us. Oh, and he is also come back saying, I understand all of this. My father was a farmer and gardener and connect with all of this. Also, the child that passed, baby boy, Martina. Okay, so I'm going to ask you in virtual land just to bear with me 2 ticks, and I will come back to you because I feel that I need to do that. But I can't leave you can't stand a lady up, ladies and gentlemen, can you? So I need to finish what I've started and do the right thing there. So I do need to finish with you. So I have a double link, and down to me, I didn't understand the subtleties of the boy and the girl there, so I apologise. So the boy isn't for you. I know that because I know that I have this boy, and I feel very strongly about that. Now, what I need to say to you, my darling, is that with Dad, I just want to say to you that he was less worried about the things around him and just very much family focused and just really wanting everybody to be okay. Does that make sense with you? It's almost like it really doesn't matter what car you drive, what clothes you wear, to a point. Obviously, nobody wants to break down and be in rags, right? But he's just giving me this feeling of being what he's calling a preserver. So he did his very best to always make sure that everybody had enough. And he's just quite excited to come through here and to say that you've just realised that you've given everybody enough yourself, and now that you can have that time to relax for you right now. And that's been quite important, because he's talking about the last 6 months being really, really crazy in your personal life here. It's almost like it was so busy you didn't really know. You were like passing yourself, one of you went that way as it crossed with the other one going that way, sorting out everybody in the family, but you kind of knew it was coming to an end, and you sort of felt that this was it in some way. Does that make sense? Yeah. Well, he's not lying then, is he? So that's always good, because he'd be showing me up, wouldn't he, if I got that wrong? But he's really excited about this, because he does say to me that whilst he didn't have as long as he would have liked in his golden years, as he's calling them, and because he says it was cut a little bit shorter than he would have liked, he gives me this feeling that he's into his 70s before he passes here, the end of his 70s, but I didn't quite make what he calls the golden years, you understand? Yeah, but he says at least you've got what I never had, and you've got that peace that he says now, where you've got everything in its place, where you can just let go and focus on the things that you want to do. And he's just talking about exciting ventures for you, and he's talking about a trip that you're planning, that you want to make, to go overseas. Do you understand that? Yeah, because he's encouraging you to go with that. So I'm going to leave your dad's love with you and say thank you so much for working with me. Much love to you. Thank you. Okay. Right, Carol's come back to us. Hey, Carol. And hey, I haven't forgotten you as well. I hope I pronounced your name correctly as well. Okay, and right on cue. So thanks. All sounds like my father. Also would be dubious with this sort of thing. Very family focused, not materialistic at all. That's great. And I'm going to ask the Gov from above to bring back Carol's comment, because it changed too quickly for me. And she understands all of this. This little boy was his nephew, his sister's child. Okay, that makes sense. And Carol, yes, totally makes sense. Okay, so I need to work with both Carol and a he. So this is great. We've got somebody in the church, and now we're hitting what I call the virtual world. So, okay, let me just see if I can ask Carol and a he just to listen in on where I'm going to go now with what's coming through for you. Okay. So, Carol, please listen in, but I feel that I need to go to a he next. Now, this farmer reference comes quite in, and I know that you acknowledged us there in your comments, and bless you for that, that your dad was almost, what I want to say is a little skeptical. But what he's saying to me here is that you've learned a lesson recently for you, where, if you like, you've had to go about life a different way that you wouldn't have normally done, to move you out of the difficulties that have been going on in your personal life for you. So please, as I'm saying this, if you're able to, respond as quick as you can with the comments, because it just helps keep the flow of this going. And so although he acknowledges that this wouldn't be his sort of thing, what he is saying here is that, look, you know what? Sometimes that happens, and he can understand that more now than ever. But he says you've been wobbling a little bit, and you just haven't had that confidence to kind of go forward and really kind of step in and forward with everything that you want to do for you. And he's encouraging you to do that. He said if he'd have known about this and could have done this before, he would have done. But it's just bringing that confidence for you. And I know that he talks about big family changes of circumstances that have been weighing on your mind, that you know that you need to kind of go beyond in order for you to have the happiness that you deserve. Now, we don't want to go too personal with all of this, but please do let me know if you understand where I'm going with that. He's quite strong as well in his mind. You know, he wouldn't take any prisoners. He's not a hard man, but at the same time, he's really, really focused on what's right and wanting the right thing. So he has the best of intention, but he doesn't always have the softest of delivery with it. That's the kindest thing that I could say. Carol's also saying that she understands this. Thank you, Carol. I will come to you, my darling, in a moment. You can totally understand. So true. I'm trying to go beyond. That's fantastic. All right. So he, if you could let me know your feedback as well, just so I can see that you are still with us. Just give you a moment to catch up. Now, the way that Dad makes me feel here is he's making me feel a bit jippy here in my sort of torso, going down towards my abdomen, and he's just making me feel a little sick. But he brings that forward as anxiety for, actually, in this instance, both of you. But if you can understand that as well, and that confidence thing with you, and he says, don't worry. So you understand all of that. Okay, my darling. I don't want to say that's fantastic, because it sounds like I've got joy in the travels of your life, and I don't mean it that way. But please take it that I'm really pleased that you understand that message. So I'm going to leave your dad's love with you, and I just need you to know that he's there. But he's a bit like a strong man. He's not moving the boulders out of your way so that you can get on in life. But he is just saying, yes, go, and you really need to take that step beyond. So I'm going to leave his love with you and say thank you for working with me. And I'm just going to go back and work with Carol. So Carol, you can understand this and that you're trying to go beyond. Okay, and do you understand as well with your dad that he's not very forgiving? And I don't mean that in an unkind way, but he knows when wrong is wrong and right is right, and it's wrong in this instance. He's saying he's not happy about that. So he's very disappointed with what's gone on with others. If we can leave that there over the public forum, that's probably the best place to do that. But again, with you, he just wants you to have that upliftment. And he wants you to have that faith to take the steps that you need to. And he just says, don't worry about where you're going to live. All of that will get sorted out, because he's talking about a lot of changes that are happening for you at the moment. And he's saying, actually, this has made you realize that you want to change every aspect of your life, because he just says where you are, and you're welcome, Ahi. Thank you very much as well. As where you are with your life, Carol, what's important for you right now is to rebalance things so that they flow better for you. It's a bit like almost you've moved to the country, but you still need to go back to the town for, like, you know, family, school runs, events, work, that kind of thing. So it's just kind of that little bit out of balance. So be aware of the opportunities that come your way and the chances that you need to take, and to have that confidence to do that, because it's really very important. Now let me just understand what on earth is going on here, because he's just coming in. Okay. Who's June? He keeps giving me this this reference to June. Do you understand, Carol, a birthday in June, as he gives me this as well? And he also wants to have a little joke with you about Easter. And there was something funny that happened one Easter about the eggs getting smashed, for want of a choice of words, as he calls it. And he's just trying to bring in a funny little memory here. And it's just a little bit of evidence that he wants to bring through. And your lovely comment here is saying, yes, totally. He would be totally disappointed. Oh my God, yes, that's been on my mind as have to move. Yes. And he just wants to bring you that comfort, because again, you know what, whilst he is a little skeptical and he kind of hangs back a little bit, yeah, there is nothing that he wouldn't do to help you get to where you need to be. And that's the point of his message as he comes forward. So I'm going to leave his love with you, Carol, and wish you my very best as well. Thank you so much. Right, okay. Wonderful. I hope you all got something from that. Right, let me see where I go, because I feel like I'm in the church now. Okay. Oh, dearie me. My lovely lady that's sitting there, you've got a denim jacket on, and hello, that's it. How you doing? Happy Sunday. Are you well? Yes. Good. Do you understand the mother figure that comes and that connects with you, please? Yes. And as she comes forward here, she's quite a lady that is, I want to call like a Werther's Nan type of energy. She's quite a soft energy as she comes. She's a little sheepish at the same time in wanting to come and sit next to you. Okay, but it's a bit like, I want to say, she gives me the feeling of somebody that would perhaps, so I have my nan that passed of dementia, and she would sort of have the right ideas but the wrong things and get things muddled up. She'd do the right thing in the wrong order. And your mum's coming forward with that sort of feeling for me when she's sort of a little bit sheepish about kind of coming and sitting next to you. You understand? Okay. And I know that as she comes forward here, she wants to sort of fiddle around with your hair quite a lot as well. She quite likes that. And she's got one of these very endearing, what I say, touches, because not only do you really feel her love when she makes physical contact with you, but it's like when somebody really touches you and you really kind of feel their presence. You know, it's like everything comes through. She just places her hand on your head there. Do you understand? Okay. She's just sort of really wanting to come in and tune you up at the moment. She says she's aware that you've just felt like a little bit below par. You understand? And she just really wants to blow some fairy dust on you there and give you that little bit of uplift. And what she's doing is here, she's putting her hand on your back. So I want to go to like the middle of the back, just below the middle of the shoulder blades there, where we kind of do that. And she's just saying to me here in my mind, relax, relax, relax. Would you understand that? Yes. Okay. And she says, you know what, sometimes you can make a mountain out of molehills, but then sometimes molehills can become mountains. And she's just talking about things that have been going on for you, that it's like everything that you don't expect to kind of happen and take a certain course does. and vice versa. The mountains are in fact molehills, and the molehills are in fact mountains. And that's to do with the things that are going around in your life right now. But I want to say particularly more with the relationships around that hit you on the, I want to say, peripheral family and friends. Would you understand that? You're perfectly okay to say no. I'm not going to do anything ugly. Okay, well that's fine. So let me just work out where I want to go with that. Come on, Mum. So what does she want to do? Okay. All right. So she said the same thing about the going around in the circles thing. So it feels for you like you've been kind of treading water. It's a bit like Groundhog Day to some extent. It's the same old, and I'm needing to get more out of life for me. And if I stay treading water, then, you know, that's not going to serve me well. Does that make sense?
Yes, I thought it was an age thing.
Don't talk about hair. Look what age has done. No hair, no teeth. But she brings forward this great degree of love, and she just says, look, it's okay. You're just realizing that it's time for different things. It's your different needs as well. She says you've got a very inquisitive mind as well, and you do like to read. She says you get a lot of interest from books there. And she says it's this inspiration that's tickling your taste buds of the sensations in your mind that are awakening you to what you realize that you want for yourself. And you realize there's quite a few changes that you need to make, both in your daily living life as you are on your own right now at home, and then also with your friends. Not like feeling stuck that we touched on in the address, but in the sense of knowing that there's a need for some significant change. But what she's saying is, don't worry, just go for it. It's nothing to worry about, but she does want you to have everything that you want for yourself as well. Now, tell me something, my darling. Why does she keep showing me like a home abroad and wanting to go away for a little bit longer than just a holiday? I beg your pardon?
I haven't got any desires to do that.
Okay. Do you understand the connection with the home abroad that you can go to or that would link with you? Okay. Okay, so let me understand what she's doing here. Okay. Do you understand family, friends, connections in Spain, please?
Friends in Spain, yes.
Okay, fine. Because I just want to say that there's a lot here that feels like a connection that would be quite rehabilitating for you, that she's given me in my mind's eye, where you could kind of find your bearings, for want of a choice of words. So these people would be helpful for you to you know, realize what you want for yourself and to have that time out. Do you understand? Because it's about the connection of the people involved. Okay, you do that. But it's something to think about because, you know, she's quite keenly pushing you over there, and it's Spain. It's kind of nowhere else. That's what she wants to do with you. She also says, though, but don't take too long and do get busy about doing what you need to do, because she's encouraging you to get on your feet. But she wants to pass some healing to your ankles as well at the moment. All right. Okay. And it's just so that you know, we've had some time where we've had our feet up with all this craziness that's gone on in the last couple of years, and you feel a little bit, for want of a choice of words, hamstrung about being able to get on and go on and get your life going. So it's almost like you were lining everything up, but then feeling the effects of not being able to kind of get on with it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So she's just coming forward to say, now's your time. Now's your time. And she's very, very happy about that. She wants to put a necklace over you as well and do it up. And it looks like there's a cross here for me as she does that. Do you understand that? Okay. All right. And I'm going to leave her love with you and say thank you for working with me. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen out there in the virtual world, please let me know as well if you can take any of this. We've already seen how that's worked earlier today as well, just so that we don't leave you out. Now, I just want to see where I'm going with this, and I'm going to address this actually quite out to the virtual world. I know we still have this little lag that's going on, so please bear with me. Okay. Okay. Whew, I don't understand. So I have Mum here, and I know that Mum passes of a cancer condition, and Mum, as she comes forward here, and she looks like a lady of foreign nationality for me as she makes her presence known in my mind's eye here. And she takes me straight away to her stomach and sort of abdomen area, or lower stomach and abdomen, as she gives me this feeling that really wasn't very comfortable for her. And bless her, I know that she was quite sick with this before she passes. There must be a daughter that is out there that's important for her to connect with as well. And she knows that you have been having your own moments of feeling quite unwell. And forgive me one moment, because she really is making me feel quite poorly there. Now, as she comes forward here, she's also talking about a daughter that will be with you. So that would be her granddaughter, who she wishes to acknowledge, and she's just overjoyed about the success that she's got in her life and the little steps that she's taking. And the way that she gives it to me is either like awards, medals, or badges, but things of merit that she's achieving in the endeavours and the clubs and all those sorts of things that she does. So may I just give you all out there in the virtual world just a little bit of time to catch up with me on that. I will just double check in the church if that resonates with anybody in the church as well, just while we're waiting for that to come back. Okay, so where, okay. I'm going to ask our lovely producer to keep his eye out just to see those comments as they come.
Yeah.
Okay. No, right. Well, we'll allow that to catch up, and I'm sure it will. Right. Okay. So let me see. What else have you got? Fine. Okay. Now, Mum, as she comes forward here, has this feeling of really wanting you to understand that it's not that bad things happen to only good people, you know, and it's not about good and bad in that way. She's just very, very much of this feeling that sometimes things just happen and we have to go through them. But in this going through them, we get so much better. And the way that she does it for you is that, you know, it's a bit like you're understanding what's really important in life as well here. So my lovely lady that this applies to, her daughter out in, now Kay's come up on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Kay has said, Mum with cancer, I am overseas, but a son rather than a daughter with many achievement and marks of recognition. I'm not doing very well with boys and girls and understanding that spirit communication, am I today? So I apologise for that. Okay, Kate, I know I'm out in the virtual world there, so I'd love to work with you if that's okay. Now, the way that she comes forward, she's not able to speak in what I would say is, or with fluency. You know, it's like she's struggling and a bit broken there. But she's really quite pleased about these achievements. You know, it's something that she's sort of been watching with eagerness, is what I want to say, because she wasn't able to be as much in his life as we now know, as with, how can I put this? I'm just, yeah, she wasn't able to be there to celebrate and mark his achievements as he got them. So she feels, and it's just letting us know that she wasn't there for that sort of stage of his life as well. And Kay, you're acknowledging as well that it also works with you, which, if you remember earlier on in this reading, what she said to you was she's aware of your own issues that you've gone through yourself. We're not going to go into those in a public place, but she's aware that you've had to, you know, fight your own battles, go through that, and come out of the other side as well. Okay, and you're saying, Kay, she couldn't speak properly at the end because she was so weak. God bless her. And it's really, Kay, nothing to worry about. We don't want to get hooked on that sort of past feeling and past emotion, but it's just understanding that it's just the way that she wants you to understand that this is indeed her. But she's really got a great deal of, what I want to say, time for you. I know that's a really bizarre thing to say from a mother to a daughter, but she's got a lot of time for you, because what you did was you prioritized the own issues that were going on for you with health and made sure that you recovered yourself before you then tried to do too much with everybody else. And she was so pleased that you got that balance right, whereas you could have quite easily, and forgive me, given out to others when you really needed for yourself. But she's really, really pleased that you took the time, because she's really specific about this, where you stood back and said, do you know what? This has got to be something that I've got to do for myself so that I feel well. And she says that that wasn't an easy decision to make, because there was, I'm going to call it suffering, but consequences perhaps is a better way of saying it, as a result of you having to do that, for you to be able to get better, to help everybody else be and that who they are. And she's just got so much love that she wants to share with you here, and so much adoration as well, that, you know, it's just that self-belief that you've got, and that in more recent times has carried you forward. She said the last 10 years have just been, well, really a roller coaster of life events and everything else that's gone on for you. And she's so pleased how you've held your own, kept your head above water, and been able to carry on. So I'm going to leave her love with you and say thank you very much for working with me. And you've just popped a comment up there, my darling. She did not see you become an adult. Yeah, okay, I understand that, because she was quite specific about, you know, she was watching on with these achievements, but just not able to kind of be there to share them, because she's a lady that, you know, should move, you know, heaven and earth, so to speak, and to be there and support those that she loves. That means a lot, because she really kind of got stuck into the family, and it's lovely to see your affirmation of that. So thank you very much for working with me. Jackie, am I done, or am I? We're at time. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, you've had enough of me now. Perhaps you need a rest. I don't know, but thank you for your time, love, and attention. Bless you. Thank you. Much love.
We could never have enough of you. We could go on for hours.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. Now, one announcement for next week, for those of you that follow our service every week. We're not having mediumship next week, so we don't have a medium, because we're actually having a spiritualist naming service, and that's going to go out live, which will be nice then for people that have never seen a spiritualist naming service. And it's a beautiful spiritual service. You know, I am biased, but I actually, when I compare it to other christenings or baptisms in other faiths, I always think that ours is just so positive and so full of love. And, you know, we've worked hard with our service, and even with the guardian angels, as we call them, with godparents, you know, the words that they say to say that they will help the child as they grow are beautiful words. And, you know, so if you are going to be joining us virtually next week, then it will be for seeing a spiritual naming service. And I say we offer that here at the church, and, you know, locally to people in their back garden, you know, because it's not a legal service. So therefore you can do a service in a garden, which is wonderful. But, you know, watch us online and see what a lovely service our naming service is. And looking forward very much to that. Okay, but we'll have a medium the following week. And we don't have any other notice. We've got our usual Wednesday friendship club, but that will not be online this Wednesday because we're doing something within just for the group that are here. And Eva has just said, lovely service. Thank you very much. So thank you for your comments, Eva. Okay, so now we just need to ask Iain if he will. Yes. Oh, yes, and of course we have this evening our service with Transfiguration with our own Phil Shaw and the mediumship with Ashley Robinson. And that's at 7 o'clock physically here. I don't think it's online, is it, Phil? It's just for people that will come to the church. So if you're interested in that, then, you know, we'll probably open the doors for about 6:30. So anyone local enough to Wimbledon or that can travel to Wimbledon, that will be a very fine event to come and experience, because it's always an experimental to see exactly what happens with the Transfiguration. But we've had some really great results with the mediumship and Transfiguration in the past. Okay, so I've done the notices, yes? Oh, yes, and our healing. We do have our healing clinic regularly back now, which is between 10 and 12 on a Thursday morning. So, you know, if you can travel to Wimbledon, then it's very worthwhile, because we have a lovely group of healers that are here. It gives you an opportunity to be able to sit and chat with someone if you need to have a chat with someone. If you're feeling a bit low, if you're feeling that you're in need of a boost of energy and spiritual healing. So regularly every Thursday morning between 10 and 12. Okay, so that is our notices. So if we just then ask Iain for closing prayer.
Thank you, Jackie. So, if I may invite you all to join together by allowing your eyes to gently close. Just taking a couple of deep breaths in and out. Just feel that lovely energy residing and abiding within you, where you want to reach out more. knowing that you're home, connect with it, with all that is. As we say, divine source, infinite creator, to our family, friends and loved ones, and those that have joined together with us today, we thank you for providing and demonstrating that there is life after life and that love never dies. And our deep appreciation for the messages that have been relevant for those that have received them, for which we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we remain in your tender love and care and keeping, we ask that you send down a blessing upon us, always guiding us to our next best space and place in every moment. So you will always find us where you know we need to be, as we ask you to please bind your will behind the meaning of the purpose of whatever it is you have in store for us, you intended for us, you created us to fulfill, to do thy will on earth as is done in my paradise, this heaven, the place where we connect and are one together as we remain with you forever, as we say thank you, thank you, thank you, amen.
And we've got one more comment from Barbara AB. Goodbye and many blessings to you all. And I'll say that back, blessings to all of you. Thank you for taking part in our service this morning, to our congregation here physically. Have a great week. Half of you I'll probably see at our various different things during the week that we have on at church. And till we see you all, you know, may you have a good week and a healthy week and a happy week. And lovely to have been on with Spiritual Psychics TV. And please have a look at the various different things they've got coming on. You know, go to the directory, see what the events are. And until we see you next week, goodbye, good night, good afternoon.